bare hand up. How you guys doing today? Sorry, I'm running a little behind. Where is this guy? Anyway, happy Monday. Welcome to the stream. Here we go. Go. All right. If you guys are interested in what this thing looks like, it looks like this. That's a green screen right there. There we go. Yeah. Anyway, hope you're doing well. Hey Mark, hey Neil, what's going on? Hey Jace, welcome from Jamaica. Hello. I know, my eyes so green. Hey Peters, how you doing? All right, we are going to continue with this Hagrid. I've been playing with some hair ideas pre-stream, and I kind of got lost in doing it, and I forgot. I'm like, oh crap, I better start streaming. So, hello. Anyway, all right. Welcome. So basically, what this is, what I decided to do is just use the and I kind of got the idea from like I've seen some people using the iPad program called Nomad, and they have this really cool kind of, I mean, it's super limited, but it's just this tube brush, and you just lay down these tubes. So I really like the so it's just it's called Curve Tube. This one right here, Curve Tube, and it's not super fancy. Hey Brad, what's up? And basically, you lay down a tube like this, and it's just this. It doesn't have any features really. It's just a tube. And to get it to work well, you want to go to this picker right here, and make sure you turn on continuous Z. I don't think it's there by default. But continuous Z will make it look at the surface of the object while you're drawing the curve the entire time, and it'll make it so the tube does not fall through the object. So so yeah, basically I can just run a tube down like this. Nothing special really. And then when you're done, to get rid of that curve, all you have to do is click on it, or click on the surface of the object that you drew it on. Okay, and now we're looking at a bunch of these different curves like this. And now I can just smooth this end down and make it kind of pointy down here. Yeah, the name of the software is called it's called Spud Arm. Spud Arm, funny name for a funny thing. I've been enjoying it. I think you guys like it. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I can just kind of connect it where it's growing out here. And I like to make some thicker, some smaller. And I can use the Move Elastic brush to just kind of move things around, and it just has a larger fall off. So I'm trying not to make this look too much like a bunch of worms, but it's hard to do. And I can come down here and I can also use the snake hook brush to curl it a little bit. Yep, the snake hook. Snake hook with Alt. Oh, I see. I wonder why it's doing RGB. Okay. Huh. Whoa, that's too fast. Hey, Ivan. I haven't seen you for a long time. Oh, I've been here every Monday. I'm here every Monday. But I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Turn on topological so we don't accidentally mess with the other neighbors there. And if you keep smoothing, it'll just bring that right down to almost a point there. Really nice. And then another trick you can do, you'll notice that some of these hairs kind of have a plane to them. See how this has a plane right here? And this one kind of has a plane. This one is the one I just laid down, and it does not have a plane. So what I can do is I'm going to turn off topological, and I'm going to mask this single one by itself. Okay, let's shrink it down a little bit through here so it clears that mustache one. And then we can grab H polish, and everywhere you see this kind of highlight, you can just run it along like this and accentuate that edge and just kind of bring it out. You can also solo it by itself and just kind of run the H polish down the surface of it. And H polish will work even if the geometry is very low. Do you have an Instagram? I do. I don't use Instagram that much. I used to on occasion. I don't know. There's too many social things out there to distract my brain. And this hand, by the way, is a hand that I modeled. It's a bear's hand. So if you can see like the fingernails, and it's supposed to, in the hair coming off the bottom, it's supposed to look like a bear's hand, because my logo for my 3D character workshop is a bear, which is this logo right here. Hi, bear. Yeah, so it's supposed to be his hand, you know, because he's like a caricature of me. And then I also modeled the pen, and you can see right down here there's another bear hand, and this Cintiq looking thing is also fake, but if I move my hand up here you can see it. It's just kind of funny. It makes me laugh, so I like it. I like it. Okay, and I'm wanting this to be 3D printable, so I'm looking for I'm trying to avoid pockets too much, like air pockets. I don't want to get resin stuck. I use resin printers, so I try to avoid pockets like that. I can just close those on up, and I don't want to get, you know, like too undercutty right here. Undercutty, is that a word? Okay, and I like to have some medium-sized ones and then some smaller ones on the top, and I want them to end like shorter, you know, not go all the way down here. And then down here at the bottom, I'm going to duplicate a bunch of them so it looks like the beard has some depth to it. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you like the hand. I like it. I'm going to grab this mustache too. I want to add a bit of edge work going down the length of it. Let me turn on some symmetry just so I only have to do it once. Getting tricky through here. Pull that out. So it snowed here yesterday. I'm from Utah, and it snows. We sometimes we have heavy winters and sometimes not so much, and I have a feeling this winter is going to be pretty heavy. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, it snowed quite a bit yesterday. I'd show you if I could unhook my camera and move it over there. But it's pretty interesting. I'm not sure if I'm ready for it yet or not. Okay, so I don't know if this, I apologize if this entire stream is just me making hair. But Hagrid's got a lot of hair. It's a lot of his personality. I need to make his hands as well, and need to finish off his clothes. And he's not too posed. It's not too crazy. Now I gathered a whole bunch of reference for Hagrid, and I settled on kind of looking at this one and working through it. It's made by who was it again, Neil? It's like Jake Penyon. Thank you. So he posted a link to Jake's Instagram. I had to do some hunting to find out who was the artist that made this. Because it was just some Pinterest link and then it just went to nowhere. So I had to do a backwards Google search to find it. But anyway, I love this concept. I was going to look at this one and kind of add some different elements, but I just like everything about this one so much that I decided to just use this one 100%. So that's where we're at. Thank you, Jake. Okay. So let's add some more. I keep hitting BT thinking it's tubes, but it's CT. No, C, is it a 9? 9? I don't know what that letter is on there. It's hard to see. Okay. I just wanted to make a couple that kind of represent what's happening here. That's a big. So if it's too thick but you like the curve, what you can do is see when you're hovering over the curve, your cursor turns blue or this teal color. And that means you can alter the curve itself. Like I could drag it or move it. I don't want to because I like it, but it's too thick. So if your curve is too thick or your geometry is too thick, move away from it until it turns red, and then change your brush size, and then tap on the curve again, and the thickness will get reduced. Okay. And then again, when you're done with the curve, all you have to do is tap on the surface, and then everything else is masked except for this one curve. And now I can do the same thing I was doing before and just shrink the ends down. And then grab our snake hook brush. And just kind of move it into place. I guess I could kind of use symmetry for this one particularly. Push it into the surface a little bit more than the other ones. Now, what do you do if you want to have a hair like this and want it to mirror across there? If I mirror it right now, it's part of the other hairs, so it will try and mirror everything. If I just wanted to mirror this one, what I would need to do is I would need to isolate this one and split it. So split hidden. There we go. And now I'm going to do a mirror and weld, except for, and I don't know why I always work on the right hand side, but mirror and weld will mirror anything from the left hand side to the right hand side. And so it's on the right. So I need to get it over to the left. So what I'll do is I'll come down here in my menu and hit mirror, and that puts it over there. And then I'll do a mirror and weld, and now I have two. Okay, now if I want it to go back to being part of the rest of the beard here, I can just merge it on down. So here's this one, and then here's this one. So I'm already selected on this one. Just do a merge down. Okay, and we're back in business. Hey Mecca, welcome. Thanks for making the ruler and scaled scene. You're welcome. I've used it for almost 2 years now. You're a legend. Oh, I love to hear that, Mecca. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to hear that that you like it. and have put it to good use. That's great. Okay. Can you please share any tips on dealing with wobbly surfaces after adding small details? So the advice that I'm going to give to you is make sure you don't have wobbly surfaces before you start adding details. So I know that sounds like a jerk answer, but that's kind of the way I do it. Is I avoid having wobbly surfaces. I mean, the beard here is wobbly. That's just because I blocked it in. It's just a block in, but all these other surfaces are super clean and you know, I try and keep everything as clean as I possibly can the entire time. So before you, everything I made to be 3D printed was just a crapshoot in terms of scale. Yeah, you've helped me get scaling correct on hundreds of models. Wow, awesome. That's super cool, man. Yeah, so I worked for Disney Interactive for a while, and we struggled with the same thing. We're just like, how in the world do we get the scale right in real world? How do we export it out at a predictable scale that it's going to match, right? And we just couldn't figure it out. And so I basically what the ZBrush people were expecting us to use is you need to know the height of the tallest part of your model and the lowest part of your model. So and we were dealing with these characters that were all over the place, and we had a disc on the bottom of those characters that had to be an absolute specific size. Okay, so I don't know why this is a weird color. That's weird. I'm actually going to take it a little darker. I'm afraid if I go too dark with this right now, I'm not going to be able to see it. Like, yeah, so I mean that's the color I eventually want his beard to be, but I'm doing a lighter brown. I mean, that looks way more like Hagrid, right? But now it's hard to see all the stuff that's going on. That's why I have my wireframes turned on so I can actually see what's happening. Hey Kenya, how are you? Expecting Dwayne Johnson. Maybe in the future. Oh, thanks, Short. Yeah, I was kind of contemplating what would be the best way to pull this off, but it's just a lot of tedious laying down the tubes. That sounds horrible, but yeah. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, for scaling. Okay, so so I came up with the idea of having a known object that's always the same size, that's always real world size. So anything that you would build that would be within the ruler's bounding box would be the correct scale in relation to the ruler. So basically, when you go to export something, you select the ruler. Yep, 200 pixels. Well, 200 millimeters actually. So 200 millimeters, you export that ruler out at 200 millimeters, and that's the exact known size, and it will come out perfect every single time. So you select the ruler, change it to 200 millimeters, and then export your STL to the 3D printer. It's so precise that I was able to make like the little clear ring for the Disney Infinity stuff. We were thinking about putting the IN, the Infinity IN, and pushed it up through a solid ring on the top, so the IN would glow, like because the bottom ring is made of transparent plastic, and it would light it up, and it would. I was like wondering if those letters would even match up to get pushed through, and it was so precise that it worked perfectly. Anyway, What do you think about sculpting on an iPad Pro versus a Wacom 16 Pro? I've never used a Wacom 16, Thomas. I'm on a Cintiq 27, and I do have an iPad Pro. Yep, you're welcome. Thanks for your kind words. It makes me, yeah, it makes me super happy. So thanks. What was I saying? So, I can't even remember what I was saying. Oh, iPad versus Wacom. So, I really like the Apple Pen, the pencil. They call it a pencil, Apple Pencil, because it's much smaller than the Wacom pen. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with this Wacom pen. I like how it has these buttons because I map the button of the menu, my custom menu right here to the button on here. So it doesn't matter where I'm at on the scene. I just hit that button and my menu pops up and I have really quick access to it. Okay. Anyway. All right. You can see my amateur stuff on my Instagram page. If you ever need a boost comments, I'll check it out. Yeah, I can't go check it out midstream, but yeah, I'd love to check it out. Okay, B, C, whatever this is. Make another tube. I think your 3D hand is too big for this screen. Well, that's how big it is on my Cintiq, so I wanted it to look as lifelike as possible. Well, lifelike, it's a bare hand, but that's about yeah, that's the size of my hand on there. So that's why that's the scale that I used. All right, I'm gonna bury this one in there. Kind of layer it out. So if you want to know how big my hand is over the Cintiq, that's what it looks like. And also the template that I used from the Spud ARM software, the hand was about that big too. It wasn't as squatty as this one is. A little more slender. This is a bare hand. But are you saying that because it's in the way? Like you can't see what I'm doing? You should be able to. Oops. I mean to do that. Let's see. So let's grab this H polish. Gonna run it along here. There we go. Clear out that mask. And then we'll just keep going. Come over to this side. I'm kind of wondering at what point if I want to start doing, I might start doing symmetrical just so I don't have to do as many. And then I'll take some little ones and make them asymmetrical over the top. But I don't want to spend all the live long stream time just doing hairs, you know. So let's get a big one going through here. Let's go from the top. Take it from the top. Lovely. That's a lovely. Okay. So what are you all up to today? Are you sculpting? Are you hanging out at work? Watching me? Are you home? Yeah, Neil. That was a long time ago. Was that for the tutorial I did for digital tutors, like way back in the day? Or was that on something else? Sculpted for 8 hours for Inktober making orcs. Hey, orcs are good. It's a good thing to make. And I don't know, for some reason, I woke up this morning thinking about all the things you could possibly create and 3D print. I was watching this documentary, kind of like mini documentary on YouTube about Mattel and some of the printers. Now I've seen this printer in person, but I've not seen what comes off of it. So I looked at it, I was like, meh, that's cool. It's a printer. But the printer is the size of a freezer, like a it's huge. It's gigantic. It's like a refrigerator on its side. It's really, really big. And it prints in full color. Like full. So there's different types of 3D printers. And I can't remember the name of it. There's a 3D printer that prints in full color where the final product kind of looks like a sugar cake topper. Like the bride and groom made of sugar that sits on the top of a cake. That texture, that sugary texture that's been either airbrushed or painted or something. It kind of looks like that. And I've seen that's what I've seen the most when I think about full color 3D printed. Very granular. And because the reason why is because it's beads that are being little plastic beads being put together. And basically this other printer, I'm not exactly sure how it does it, but it prints in gel, like this weird gel for the supports. And it also prints out kind of this harder plastic shell beyond that gel. It's really hard to kind of explain. Hey, well, I don't know if I want to guide you guys away from my stream, but just so you can see kind of what I'm talking about. Maybe Neil, if you could grab that off of the post that I posted on the network the other day, if you saw it. I think you did. And just pop a link up there. But it's around the 8-minute mark. You can see they're printing like a He-Man and a Skeletor in that, and it's just like, man. And it's not cost effective for at-home printers right now, but when you see stuff like that, it just makes you realize what's coming. Like what will be possible printing full color at home in the future. And what you'll be able to do with that is just like, oh my gosh, because when they're printing it, it's printing out at full articulation. When it's done, it's like it has all of the joints and everything, and it's full color, it's done. Just like, what in the heck? That's going to be nuts. Super exciting. That's the one? Yeah, there you go. So Neil just posted a link. Please come back after you watch it. Around the 8-minute mark is when he starts to show and talk about that printer and what it can do. So crazy. And cleaning off the gel rather than the resin supports and things. Hey Leonard, how are you? Welcome. Did you get my response? Turn off topological. Just so you guys know, topological masking and regular masking don't get along well with each other. They don't play. It's like a cat and a dog. They just don't work out. So if you're using actual masking, make sure you turn that off. The schedule is off? Oh, gosh dang it. So Kyle, one of the Maxon employees that usually does all the scheduling for these live streams, his wife's having a kid or has had a kid or something like to that effect, and so he's out. And I think there's someone else sort of managing it, but I don't know. I don't know the whole story as far as that goes, but that's kind of the reason why, is it's not being managed as much as it used to be at the moment. Need to get my Shelton completed. Yeah, man. Oh, it lists me as Steven Anderson. Well, it could be worse. Steven is a fellow Utahn. Well, he was. He's in LA now, but he's from here. And I know you can go into Restream and change who it says I am, but I don't know. I just get too lost in sculpting and going and not worrying about that too much. Looks like I pressed. Hey Sammy, I'm working on it when I have time. I'm doing some other stuff at the moment. This is my ringtone. I think he did say that. Okay. I'm liking the direction this is headed. I'm trying not to make it look like a spider or a I don't know what else. There's a lot of different things it could be. I might continue doing some of this just to break up that silhouette around the bottom there. You can kind of see what's happening. It's a little dark, but and then bring some of these down. I just want the surface to look like it's made of all hair. And I'll put some smaller ones on the top once I get there. But for now, that's what it is. Yeah, Howie, right? Right? It's so crazy. It's so crazy that is a thing. Seems like these tubes just keep getting bigger. Okay. If you accidentally draw off the end, it shoots clear out into space. So I got to be careful not to go too far down. That one's pretty good. And I'm trying not to let these get too uniform. That's another thing, is you want to embrace the chaos. Try and make them look like they're natural and not too designed. Which I find as a sculptor is the most difficult part. That's the thing, because it's human nature to want to make things perfect and uniform and straight, and so adding that bit of chaos is just, it's always been a struggle for me. Hey Ahmed. I'll have a Neil, could you post the, it's from Jake. Starts with a P. His last name starts with a P. Let's make a fat. Yeah, it's Hagrid from Harry Potter, but I'm talking about the actual concept guy, the artist's name. Okay, let's put, looks like a perfect place for one right through here. Dominic, yeah, maybe. I'm just I know it's kind of hard to see when it's this dark too. Hey Hannibal, how are you? Good, good, good. What is going on? You know what? I have headphones on and I'm not listening to music. What? I do that all the time. You guys ever catch yourselves doing that? Yourselves? Bring this one on out. Maybe I can make this one come out and curve in somewhat so it gives it more interest. When I'm in public and I don't want to talk to anyone. Yeah, there you go. Just stick in some headphones. I've done that myself. Or even when you're at work, you're just like, I'm in the zone, don't bug me. Okay, but I am going to turn on some music. Let's see. Why is it installing Spotify? Spotify is so weird sometimes. Okay. There we go. Hagrid has so much hair. It's almost like it's made of yarn or something. Okay, let's get a sneaky one back in here. Sneaky cheeky. I do want to make it come from all the way up here and go all the way down. Maybe I'll do two halves, actually. Let's make one come out from here, and then this one will go in. New printer similar to an object. Yeah, I'm not sure what the name of that one is. I should go over and check that printer out at Stratasys. That's the name of it. It's over in the industrial area near me. I'm friends with the application engineer. Dude, that's awesome. Please do. Please do. Hey, what's up, Eric? Yeah, colorful snakes for hair. Who wouldn't want that? Whoa. All right. You know, yeah, I had that printer demoed to me. Well, they didn't really demo it for me. They're more like, here it is. But I did see some prints at ZBrush Summit that I think came off of that same printer. They were absolutely gorgeous. But I'm not sure. I'm not 100%. We'll put some tinier hairs that are asymmetrical that kind of separate themselves and sprawl across this whole thing. Oh, really? Really? Tinder, hot, whatever. Back again. All right, blocked. Timed out. Okay. Would I mind sharing how to make a moving hand cursor like you on stream? I would, except for this is the official Maxon ZBrush YouTube, and I'm demoing ZBrush and not Spud Arm. So as much as I'd like to here, I modeled the arm exactly how I'm modeling Hagrid now. But as far as the Spud Arm setup, it comes with instructions on how to set it up. You just make 2 images and line up the pivots and you're good to go. So it's not too crazy. And then it's just an OBS overlay, so it's just a green screen. You just use a chroma key and you're good to go. I'm actually liking how this is turning out. I was worried about it because there's so much hair there. Okay, but I do want some of these strands to end like mid beard. And then I'll take some I'll probably duplicate a bunch of those hairs and put them underneath so it looks like it has way more depth. Okay. So let's do a couple shorties here and see if we can get them to look decent. Couple shorties. Maybe end there. Whoops. Move brush is what I need. Okay, stop skipping. And with hair, it's all about the flow. Like where does it come from? Where does it go? Like the Cotton Eye Joe song. I've seen a lot of new sculptors just kind of lay the hair on the surface without thinking about where it's coming or where it's going. Oh, thanks, Neil. You're right. Hagrid 5. All right, thank you. Neil's like my little angel on my shoulder. It's a good time to drink a little coffee. Okay, I'm saving it to a Google Drive, so sometimes it takes a minute to save. Oh, come on, not this long. And if I missed any questions, please feel free to ask again. Oh, come on. You can do it, ZBrush. There we go. I knew you could do it. Now these hairs are getting stretched a little bit too much. So if you ever run into that, how you would fix that is I'm going to, I don't want to Z-remesh this whole thing. But these in particular, the yellow one and the teal ones, these are getting stretched a little bit too much for my taste. See how they're kind of warping? So I'm going to hide them, do a split hidden, arrow down to them, apply the subdivision levels for dynamic subdivisions, go down to geometry and delete the higher, or delete the lower subdivisions, and then let's Z-remesh these bad boys. So we're going to do a keep groups, and let's change this down to like a 2002. Turn down smooth groups and hit Z-remesh and see what we get. There we go. Much, much better. See how nice, clean, no more stretching happening. And now we can have them join with the rest of the group. So merge down. And when you Z-remesh things, it gets rid of the poly paint, so you're going to have to grab color and then fill the whole thing again. And we're good to go. Back in business. You know, like Elf on the Shelf. Yeah. Something like that. Okay. Hey, Angry, how you doing, man? Welcome, welcome. I'm just lost in Hagrid's hair at the moment. Okay, let me see where we're at here. Living the life. Okay, I think I want to have one come out from underneath, like right here, and come down. That is a lot of hair. How long have we been at it? Maybe almost an hour? And I've just done hair the entire stream. Oh. So if you want some hair to come out, like emerge from under the hair mass, all you have to do is kind of put one there like that, and then just push it in underneath. There we go. And you have some cool reveal coming out of there. Okay, for this one, see we have 1, 2, 3. They're all the same. So I'm going to take this one, lengthen, maybe snake hook it, and break it. Curve the other way. We're starting to get some of that silhouette breakage. And then eventually I'll come in and I'll do like asymmetry on top. Okay, let's see. I want some of these to end here, like in the middle here, like I did with this green one that here. So maybe I'll bring one from here, or maybe here and end it. Yeah, let's see what happens. So BC tube. And somewhere around there, which will cover up our overlap coolness, but maybe I'll move it over here. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe like right there. Maybe a little lower. There we go. Okay, we'll try that. Now, I could have it go all the way up to where I drew it, laid it in, whatever you want to call it. Or I could bury it sooner, like I did with that other one. Thinking about making it looking like it's coming out from back behind this one here. And then ending here. And if you'll notice on the concept, a lot of these go from thick to thin to thin to thick to thin again. And how you can get that is just inflating different areas like here and here, maybe deflating here. And then you kind of get that thick to thin. It's good to hear you guys. Okay, let's clear this. And, you know, the reason I like this topological button so much, I'm just going to give a little love to this topological button. And what this means is it's topological masking. And all that means is it's going to affect the first object you touch with whatever brush you have it active on. And the reason I've brought the topological button out to the surface instead of just using move topological, there's a brush actually that's called move topological. And it works the same way, but that's the only brush that I know of that actually has it built in. But for the rest of these brushes, including the smooth brush, you can turn topological, that's kind of hard to say, it's a little tongue twister. You can actually turn this on for any brush. It doesn't matter, even the paint brushes. it will work for almost every brush. Maybe not the topology brush. It doesn't really make sense for that. But any of these other brushes it will work for. And for example, I'm using the inflate brush right now, and I only want to affect one strand at a time, or maybe a symmetrical pair. So if I turn that on, and I want to kind of make some of these like fatter, skinnier, you'll notice it's not affecting this pink one or this green one, it's only affecting the orange here. And if I want it to affect the green, I can. Maybe shrink this one down, puff this one out. It just gives a nice wave to the whole thing. Add some thick and thin interest, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I'm liking that, I think. Now sometimes, oh, that's why. Okay, I was like, why is that working on both of these? And the reason why is because symmetry is turned on. Okay. And again, I want to, so there's two, I like how these strands are breaking up what's going on up here, but these are too much like a big beard curtain. So I like how this one's going in, how I talked about it before. But I want to break up this surface just a little bit more. So I'm going to have another hair like sneak out or stop or something up higher, I think. Where is that feature located? It is, if I hold down Control, this is another tip, is if you hold down Control, you can see where any button lives. But if you don't have that button on your interface, you're not going to know, right? So I do give away this interface for free. You can load it up, check it out, find out where all my buttons live, and then pull them out onto your own interface. Or you could use my interface, it doesn't matter. But if you hover over a button and you hold down Control, it'll pop up this tooltip. And at the bottom of the tooltip, you'll see it says button path. I don't know, here, let me move my hand out of the way a little bit. Here, let me turn it off for just a second so you can see it. Okay. So it says button path, brush, auto masking, topological. You can see that right there. So if I go to brush and then go down to, let's close some of these up, go to auto masking, and it's right there, this big button right there. Okay, that is where it is. All right, let's get that my bare arm back. Okay. You know, I'm a little more satisfied with this than I thought I would be. Every time there's hair involved, I get a little scared. Keeps me up at night a little bit. But for once, this is turning out okay. Okay. And I do want to add some edges to some of these. So I'm gonna grab the H polish, just kind of knock these, and I'm thinking about it kind of as a diagonal, like making a pyramid out of this, or a chisel type shape. And I can just kind of hit the surfaces and create some interest. Looks like I turned symmetry off. That's okay. So then when I show them all, it just kind of has a peak of interest, and it's going to allow for the light to catch it, and it's just going to add even more interest and make it look like it's more detailed than it actually is, because it's giving the light something to travel across and catch a highlight on. Now this one seems a little too flat when I look at it without, see how it's not catching the light very well right here, and I'm not a fan of that. It's like it's drawing my eye to it, and I'm just like, okay, that needs to be fixed. So and I can do that a couple ways. I can grab the pinch brush and just like pull it over to one side if I want. Relax it a little bit more. And I just want to get it away from its neighbor. See its neighbor right here? And then I could also turn on topological and just kind of scoot it away. And let's fix this mustache. I just want it to kind of disappear into the surface there. Okay. I'm just going to make one tube down here that's kind of short and then duplicate it around for the beard depth down at the bottom here. Because this pulling out from a big thick surface like this with the snake hook brush with Sculpting Pro turned on, it works okay, as you can see right here, but it's a little chunky, and it's kind of hard to deal with. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use several tubes. Get rid of this one. Okay, I want to get rid of this, whatever's happening here. There's a couple holes. I can hit close holes right here, which that'll close those holes. Turn on Sculpting Pro. Let's turn off symmetry. There we go. Let's put them all in the same group. And I kind of want to get rid of these two as well. So I'm going to use the knife curve brush. And just slash them off. Oops. I hit delete hidden thinking that there was something hidden, but it's not. Okay. And it's funny because then it fills it in with white. I have to go back over it with the color. Okay. Gone. Cleaned up. And that's what the base looks like underneath. You can see where we still have a few little holes. I'm going to come in with some more smaller detailed hairs, but for now I really want to make this look like it has depth. So I'm going to grab, come on, these again, turn off Sculpting Pro, and do a BC Tubes brush. Just do a little brush like this. And I can pull it kind of straighter. Okay. And then I'm just going to bury the tip up in the beard block out and then just have the hair tips hanging out. And then manipulate them with the snake hook brush. Okay. And then I can use this and turn it and twist it and use it a bunch of different ways and just copy it around. And how you copy it is you just show your gizmo, hold down Control, and just move it. Now what that's going to do is it's going to put it in the same poly group as whatever you duplicated it from. I wish it would just put it in a new poly group every time I duplicated, but that's not the case. So what I could do is invert the mask and then hit Control W, which will put this new piece into its own poly group, or just not care about it for now and use auto groups later on. But since I have some symmetrical pieces, some asymmetrical pieces, I don't really want to auto group, and then because I really can't mirror and weld unless I take all of these asymmetrical pieces and put them into another subtool. So I'm just going to manually put each of these into their own group. Okay. Let's kind of bulk that back out. You can see how this is like faking way more hairs in there than I have. It's a total facade. Make this one come out maybe forward. Hey Shane with the best name ever, how's it going? Apple updating everything. Yeah, been there. You know, unfortunately I had to move away from my Apple. I bought an M1 Studio, Mac Studio, whatever it's called, because I was super duper impressed by what they were doing with the CPUs and all that kind of stuff. And then it turns out nobody makes software for Apple still. I wish they would, because I love that machine and I love how quiet it is and how fast it is. But I can't use it if no one makes software for it. I'm looking at you, Apple. Or I guess software developers for Apple. I hope that changes soon, honestly. I hope software developers realize the power of the new CPUs and go, oh, maybe we should develop for this. When I say no one, that's pretty general. But most, like even plugins for ZBrush, some of them only work on PC. That's not fun for anyone. Whoa. Didn't mean to do that. Duplicate the whole beard. I want just a little one back there. There we go. See, sometimes all you need is this, just a little spiky nubbin sticking out. I'm running a very high spec MacBook Pro with Sony TV as a monitor. Oh goodness. Never had an issue with the plugins I use. Yeah, it depends on your workflow, right? I mean, some people are just fine with what they get, and but like, for example, this bare arm that I'm using for my OBS overlay, not available on Mac. I mean, that wasn't the make or break, but that's just one example. Gosh dang it. Sorry, guys. Get out of here. Yeah, it actually does. So I'm looking into this new community software for my courses. and it has an app, and the app is available for iOS and Android. But for Android, I can just submit it, and it's done, and it's there, and that's good and bad, you know. But for Apple, I have to submit it and have them accept it, and you know, it has to pass their whatever. But it takes them so long in order for that to happen. But I'm, you know, it's part of me is happy that they do that, and so it's not a bunch of crap on their system, you know. Same thing happened to my son and his busyness, so he's sitting on his Apple using my Rogstrix 3080 laptop that I need. Dang, that stinks. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to sell my M1 now, just because it's just kind of it's kind of sitting here, you know. I know I can get a decent amount out of it if I do sell it, because it's still hip with the kids right now. But on the other hand, I don't want to sell it because I like it. I really like it. It's just unfortunate, you know? Okay. You know, I think some of these I could mirror over. Yeah, angry. You know, I don't know how they can sneak back in, or I guess I do. I mean, they can just change their name slightly or put some different emoji on there. And now they're a whole new account, right? I just wish YouTube would get on top of it. No pun intended. Okay, I'm gonna these guys. Okay, let's split hidden. And then do a mirror and weld. Here we go. Added depth. Yeah. Good times. Now let's just add the sneaky little tinies to break that up. I think we'll be good. I feel like this is too much here. Okay. I still haven't broken this bit up, and I want to. So I'm going to put a little one there. Maybe a really small one, cutting across like this. That'd be fun. Yeah, I think that helps. Okay. Let's put another small one like that, maybe coming out and going across here. Maybe like this. You know, I've been watching Neil kind of got me on this one, but I've been watching Australia Lego Masters. Oh, it's so funny getting into that show. I love how you can watch shows from other countries. They have the UK one. I'm watching it on a streaming service. It's free. It's called Tubi. Has commercials, but works pretty good. Hoping Maxon brings Forager more in line with ZBrush. Love a ZBrush Lite. Yeah, that'd be nice, right? I forgot they own Forager. That would be cool. There we go. Let's get some of these a little hooked. All right, maybe a couple singles in here. Whoop. It's just an overlay of a hand that I modeled, and it's being ran by a program called Spud Arm. It's just a green screen overlay for OBS. Yeah, I like it a lot. It's fun. Kind of goofy. Okay. Now what's cool about this is when I 3D print it, I can use it like a wash. Like I can use dry brush to catch all the highlights and really make all these hairs pop, you know, just by dry brushing across the surface. Howie, and not only does it get mentioned, it gets mentioned like at least every, I'd say 30 minutes or more. Thanks. Yeah, I try and switch it up. And I do teach an online course, a full course showing the entire thing, start to finish. And I'm actually contemplating going, and I haven't mentioned this too much, but and before all you guys freak out, I'm thinking about going monthly with my course. And the reason why is because I want more people in there. You know, I want more people to enjoy making thing and actually focusing on mostly 3D printing. And so I'm working on putting that together, maybe putting a membership together. Just wondering who of you are watching would be interested in that. There's only like 125 people watching right now. Just take a mini poll on if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, or if you're like, nope, I don't do memberships, or what your thoughts are. And I'd work it out. I'd figure something out with the. I'm still figuring it out. Something with my current students. Yeah, exactly. Instead of a set price per course. Actually, I would do I do a mixture of both. So I want to do like a monthly that has like monthly challenges and monthly master classes and beginner courses. Yes, Tommy. And I do beginner courses, but the thing is, and this is the problem I keep running into, is my beginner courses are part of my larger course. So it's not like you can taste the small things without buying the big thing, right? And that's what I want to change. I want to make it so people can try the beginner stuff, and if they get into it, then buy the next thing, or just stay subscribed and just keep going if you want to, or if not, don't. So that option just seems really appealing to me in the future of the 3D character workshop, and just giving access to a lot more people. Can I please ask you how you sculpt really clean and smooth intended lines? I always seem to struggle getting them smooth into a consistent depth. So Colin, that's a gigantic question. But the easiest answer I could possibly give you is keep everything, besides using the smooth brush a ton, you want to keep everything low and subdivided, like low resolution and subdivided as much as possible. And I know that's not possible with like Sculptris Pro, and that's where the smoothing comes in, and you just kind of have to pay attention to what you're doing with it. But that can be great if it's done right. I'm weary of the whole big price because I'm a college grad already. Game art, but the monthly sub eases the worry or fear of lost value. Exactly. Yep. And I mean, I look at it from like what I would want. I've always looked at it like, what would I want as an artist and a user and a, and I would feel the same way, because right now I have so much content that I feel like I had to raise my price. But sometimes I feel like I've priced myself out of my own market, and I just want, again, I feel bad for people in poorer countries that can't quite afford that, and I want to have access for everyone, but I can't just put out a whole bunch of free YouTube videos because that doesn't pay the bills, so I gotta figure it out. Oh geez, really? Again? Hey, I caught them before they could post more than one. See ya. See you later. Right. Yeah, exactly. So, and I've been asked a ton, of course, like, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Ooh, dating for everyone, huh? Not just me. Glad you guys are excited. In 2 months, I still can't do anything with the program, although I'm good at drawing. Oh, really? You can't? So, okay, that's another thing. Is the software I'm looking into is it's very, very community based, and also there's 2 parts to, well, there's 3 parts to the course, but there's 2 communities. I have a Discord community that's private, so don't ask if you can join unless you're a student. But there's a private Discord and there's a forum. And the forum is great because it allows people to post their art and get some you know, some good kudos and stuff like that on it. But the problem with the forum, I feel, is as nice as the art is. Here, let me show it to you because I'm super proud of it. But there's one big problem, and I think Ibram, it's what you mentioned, and see if you agree with me. But I mean, look at all this fantastic artwork. It's crazy good. But at the same time, you really don't see any newbie stuff in here. Very little. I mean, there is here and there, but there's not very much newbie stuff in here. And I feel like that's because new sculptors are intimidated to post in here. And that's not what I intended this to be. So, sorry if this arm is over it. Anyway, yeah, there you go. And so I need to make a safe space for new people to feel free to post and get feedback and not feel intimidated. So that's another thing I really want to have happen. Well, yeah, I would replace the word talent with skill, because talent kind of comes across as you were born with it, you know, but what you're saying is it's skill. So if you say everything takes skill, and skill is the result of repeated practice and applies to everything. So I would not use the word talent. Yeah. So there are some great memes out there, like saying, you know, how did you get so good? It must be talent, you know. It's like, no, I've practiced this for 23 years or more. You know what I mean? Yeah, talent is often used in place of skills. It's yeah, you know, there is such thing as talent. Like when somebody can just sing naturally without being taught. I feel like there's some amount of talent there, right? But I think a lot of stuff like this comes from your interests as a child growing up. You know, where do your interests lie, and where you focus most of your time, that's what you're going to get good at, you know? Yeah, natural aptitude. For sure. Okay. Sorry, I'm just getting into the little details now. I want some of these to kind of stick off of the surface just a little bit. Natural talent towards computers. I do not have natural talent towards art. Right, but okay, so, but you say natural talent. Does that mean like you just sat down at a computer and you instantly knew what to do? Or did you have to practice and learn it? I think that's the difference. I think it's like you're interested in computers, so you naturally wanted to use them more. You know what I mean? Because if you're not interested in something, you're not going to learn it and you're not going to practice it. You're going to move on to things you like to do. Hey, Steamworks, welcome. Hey, Leon, I believe it's in November. Got you. See, I like how you can see some air underneath here. And then I'm going to have, I want to have a couple flipping up. Little tiny. I made it too small. All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I wish they were doing it live, but I understand why they're still not. And it's not just the whole COVID thing. There's other factors, but looking forward to it regardless. Junji had a talent for drawing. You will never be as good as him, even if you learned every day. If you're not right, but he was, again, I have to argue with that because that's what he was interested in, and that is all he did. That's all he did. And he just, that's, I don't know. Somebody drew a picture of him like in heaven, showing all of the other artists that have passed away through history, like what kind of art he does, and it's really cool. Really cool ode to him, whatever you want to call it. Hey, Wonder, thanks. Thanks, guys. Just trying to break up the silhouette here. Some of these little, you got to be careful when you're going to 3D print these hairs. Now, auto grouping can work on individual objects as well. So, like, remember I said I didn't want to auto group this whole thing, but I forgot to auto group these away from each other, so they're both in the same group. But I can isolate them, hit auto group. It'll only auto group those two, and now I'm back in business. So it's good. Okay, let's work on his. I think I'm going to leave it alone for now. I'll come back to it. Maybe put a few more hairs in here to break it up. But I'm pretty happy with it. Let's save it. Hopefully it doesn't take forever again. Yeah, angry, no kidding. What do you do when you're not sculpting? I rare sport bikes. What does that mean, Jace? When I'm not sculpting, I'm usually hanging out with my fam. I play a lot of video games. Races. Oh, races, sport bikes, nice. I have a hair sculpting question I've been waiting to ask for weeks. I have a hair sculpt. I want the strands to have edges going down the length of the strand, but not across. Okay. So you can make your own hair brush with a crease built in. So, let's see. So this Maxon hair crease right here. These are brushes that have creases built in, and the crease goes down the length. So if I click on this guy, right, for example, and just make it. Oh, hold on, I gotta turn on continuous Z. I don't know why that doesn't stay on. Okay. So if you see this one, see it's a tri-part brush. It comes with 3 parts. It has an end, a middle, and a beginning. And you can see it comes pre-creased. So you can make a tri-part brush that's your own that has a crease built into it if you want. Does that make sense? How can I balance simple and complex hair shapes when sculpting? Start big and work to small. And then just the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. I've already sculpted it out. Do I have to manually crease each strand? Yes. Well, or you could go in and you could add creases to strands if they're low enough like this. You can go and pick an edge loop and crease it if you want, or you could go in like something like this and just run a light crease across it. So if I lower the intensity on the crease brush and then just kind of go down the length of it like this. And then turn on dynamic subdivisions. You can see that crease right there. It gets it pretty nice. You could do something like that. I just don't know how many hairs you have you want to do that to. Do you use your painting for Sculpt Mari or Substance Painter? Not really. When I was working in games, I did more, but I'm all about 3D printing these days and collectibles, and so I don't use those. Well, I've never used Mari, but I don't use Substance Painter as much as I used to. It's still bugging me. There we go. All right. Yeah, I hope that helps, Hannibal. Okay. Let's give him some hands. He's handless. Crease tolerance? No, yeah, crease tolerance. You could use I would probably set it to a 2 or a 3 and then subdivide it that way. Okay. Sorry, I was checking something there. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so eventually I'm going to close the hole off for this coat. And I'm going to go ahead and give him a sleeve. See this? Oh gosh, I'm at a loss for words today. Cuff, that sleeve cuff. So right now this is his coat. It's super clean. It's really low resolution. So if I duplicate it, and then I'm just going to highlight what I want to keep, which is this. I like to say delete everything that isn't the cuff. Is you a fan of Ray Harryhausen? I think so. Let's see. Blur this. Oh, I need to be on local symmetry. Come on, grab it. There we go. Okay. And then, yeah, let's get his hands going. Let's see. Just start with a good old sphere. And then we'll split it off and grab the, whoops, skin color. All right. Usually I like to just make my hands palm facing down. He has huge hands. And they're quite square. I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to pull his thumb out using some Sculptress Pro action here. Okay, I don't want thickness. Now, just beware, whatever object you draw a new object on, like insert multi-mesh, if the original object that you're drawing that object on has, like, say, dynamic thickness, then it will bring that dynamic thickness to the new object you just inserted, so just beware of that. Okay, this is his palm, and then basically what I'm wanting to do is turn on Sculptress Pro, and then see how low we are. Okay, that's pretty good actually. And just gonna fill everything. Whoops. Like that, there we go. And then I can use the snake hook and just carefully pull out a thumb. Make it look like a mitten. It's very square. Got very square hands. I love Sculptress Pro with snake hook. I think Ashley will agree with me. I'm surprised she hasn't hopped in today. She probably will, since I said snake hook. Okay. I think I made that a little too pointy. Let's go back to where it was. Right there. That's good. And I'm going to bend it down a little bit. Yeah, something like that. Okay, I want to get that too flat. Get that hand butt going. Official term. Okay, you guys are all quiet. All right, let's get his fat square fingers going on. Actually, I keep seeing things that I want to fix. Okay. Just give enough space up here for the fingers to attach. Okay. Oh. Gonna be flipping the bird for a minute. All right. Let's make I do want it to taper slightly, but not too much. Square yet tapered. All right. Not too unlike the bear hands that I have already. I'm just gonna flatten this off. Yes, he's missing a knuckle. We're going with the double knuckle. Might go triple knuckle in this one. It's a little more realistic. Triple knuckle. When will we be getting a ZBrush version where we can tear off the work area and put it on a second screen? I don't know. I don't work for Maxon. I'm just a volunteer. Yes, that would be nice, but okay, I just want them barely there. Looks like flipping the bird. Nice. What kind of tablet do you use? I use a Cintiq 27-inch from Wacom. Kind of an older model. Still need to add his pinky, but I forgot to do auto groups. So we're going to auto group these guys and then mirror and weld them. Okay. There. Do I use others? I have in the past. I've used just a Wacom Intuos Pro, just a regular old tablet, and I haven't used any other brands, just Wacom. But I'm here to tell you that it doesn't matter. Just use anything that will give you pressure sensitivity. Just use a tablet. Doesn't matter who makes it, just whatever you can afford. Doesn't matter. You just don't want to sculpt with a mouse. Okay, I gotta adjust these fingers. And Among Us, yeah. Those things are hilarious. Oops. I need to actually do that. There we go. I have a hand-me-down. I think it's a Wacom 16-inch. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Yep, that's all you need is a tablet. That's it. Doesn't matter. You don't need anything fancy for sure. A fancy tablet is not going to make you a better artist. It will only speed you up. And speed will come regardless. So you don't really need to focus on that. There we go. Those are chunky hands. All right. Switched over from a screen tablet to a regular one. Not sure why I enjoy it better. Feel like I'm not looking down as much. Yeah, there's honestly, it's completely user preference. There's a lot of professional digital sculptors that prefer using a tablet over a screen, and a lot of people, yeah, they feel the same way. It's like, or your hands in the way, or it just doesn't feel comfortable. It hurts your back. There's so many different reasons why people choose to use tablets over screen tablets. And there's no right or wrong way. It's just whatever gets the job done, whatever makes you feel comfortable. It doesn't hurt your body. Did I ever notice issues with your shoulders and back when using a Cintiq? No, because of the way I set it at kind of a 45-degree angle. And I don't lean over too much. I can't set it at a 90 like a lot of people do. That hurts my arms. So I set it at a 45. My favorite position is when it's in my lap, when it's down in my lap. But with this one, I haven't been able to do that so much because I stream with it, and it's harder to do that and stream at the same time. And I also, I used to have a Cintiq 24 HD that had buttons on either side of the screen built into the screen, and I could just reach over and touch those buttons, and it was really nice. And that way, because I built my user interface to not use very many hotkeys, it would only use a few. And so I really liked the button setup on the 24. But when the 27 came along, the 24 wasn't a 16:9 aspect ratio, and the colors weren't that great. So I'm like, okay, this is a good opportunity to upgrade to a 27. And but it came with that remote, you know, the little remote that's kind of magnets to the screen. The only problem is the 27s are kind of notorious for not having the magnet stick as good as it does on other size screens. So it just constantly would slide off, and it didn't feel very natural to just sit and hold it in my hand, you know, so I just never got used to it. So I have a keyboard tray that is underneath my Cintiq that I slide out, and that's just the most comfortable that I can get using my current setup. But it, you know, it's something that's right for me is not necessarily right for you, so I would find out what is most comfortable for you and go with that. Wow, that happened fast. See ya. Can't believe how common that is getting. Get better in less time with a screen. Yeah. Like I said, it will make you faster. But that being said, I used a tablet for 15 years of my career. I've only had the screen. I only had a screen for the last 5 or so years. Is that the standard skin material? It's just Skin Shade 4. That's what I use for most of my sculpts. But I use it for everything, not just skin. Like this coat has it, the beard has it, everything has it. All right, those are some big old hands. Handy. That's right. Trying to get into 3D modeling. Would one recommend ZBrush, Blender, or Maya? Well, Soapy, since you're on the official Maxon ZBrush YouTube channel, we're kind of biased here, and I would say ZBrush 100%. It's like going to the taco shop and asking, you know, if tacos are good. I'm just messing with you. But yes, ZBrush. ZBrush isn't good, it's great. It's what all the effects houses use. It's what all the game houses use. It's what all the collectible houses use. Mattel, Hasbro, Funko, all of them. ZBrush. Alex, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, this dude is hollow. He needs a belly. Hagrid is bellyless. He's all echo chamber in there. I'm just gonna make a filler object. Set this. I've been using ZBrush for 12 years, but I don't know yet if it's good. Really? I don't understand that comment. Like, I've been eating tacos for 12 years and I don't know if they're good. Doesn't make sense, sorry. All right. It's nice. Nice look. Any tips for a person that is self-learning ZBrush? Yeah, get good at blocking out characters. Love how you take your time to sculpt. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I try not to go slow. It's taken me 4 hours to make this guy. So I try and go somewhat speedy, but I'm also being particular about everything. So, and he's not done. I still need to make this belt and the buttons and all, you know, finish off his shoes. A whole bunch of stuff still needs to be done on this guy. So he's far from done yet, and I need to pose him and all that kind of stuff, but I feel like he's coming along. Whoops. I've been able to predict your sculpting moves and which tools you're about to use next. Nice. Yeah, it's seriously rinse, repeat. That's what I do. And as soon as you understand the technical part of things, that's when you shift over to the artistic side. It's like once you know how to drive a car, that doesn't make you a race car driver, right? Then you have to learn how to like drive it in a race and how to overtake other drivers and how to brake and when to gas and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. Got any tips for hard surface modeling like Iron Man parts? I usually do all of my hard surface with one of two things. Either the topology brush or live boolean. Between those two tools, you can do pretty much everything. Irene, yes, I have to say that. Yeah, once you understand the program, once you understand how ZBrush works, and you don't need to know all of the little everything. You don't need to know all the bells and whistles that ZBrush has. I mean, if you've been watching me for a while, you'll see that I use very few of the options available. And usually it's just the move brush. That's what I use most of the time. And once you understand how ZBrush wants you to work, you can literally create anything you want. Anything in your mind you can create. And now it's like, and now you can 3D print it. essentially, and get it into your hands for real. And that's one of the coolest feelings in the world. So anyway, that is my time for today, guys. As always, I give away my ZBrush user interface for free. That's this interface that you see right here. If you want to go grab it, you can grab it over on my website, 3dcharacterworkshop.com. I also teach a full course, start to finish, and I show you how to make a character, pose it, the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. So if you want to check it out, 3dcharacterworkshop.com. It's over there. And everybody, I will see you next Monday. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. And we'll catch you next week. All right. Cheers. We'll see ya. Bye.